All right, hello and welcome back everyone to PSGL. We are back for the F8 stream here today in Austria at the Red Bull Ring as we get the racing underway for round 6 of the PlayStation division here at F8. So we're back for season 30 and we're ready to go for another race, and today you join us in a very wet qualifying session as we head into this amazing Austrian Grand Prix. It is going to be an absolutely amazing race, guys. Alright, so let's talk about this track before we get into the racing real quickly. It's got 10 turns, which makes it the shortest track on the Formula 1 calendar. It's got a circuit distance of 4.3 kilometers, that's 2.6 miles long, and there's 3 DRS zones to help encourage overtaking, 1 down the pit straight, 1 in between turn 1 and turn 3, and 1 on the back straight in between the heavy braking zone at turn 3 and that downhill turn at turn 4. But if these conditions stay into the Grand Prix, we won't be seeing any DRS as there is no DRS enabled in these very wet conditions out on track. Alright, so let's get into the racing here today at PSGL. You join us with about 14 minutes remaining of the qualifying session. A few people have already set lap times as we head into round 6 of PSGL's F8 division here in PlayStation. This is season number 30 as we get into the Austrian Grand Prix. If you're unfamiliar with who I am, I'm Formula Jonah, your commentator for today for the F8 division, and we're getting ready to start off an amazing qualifying session with a lot of drivers setting in lap times. So currently Ruben has the fastest lap, a 1:11.9, and that is going to be around a tenth faster than Giro's lap time in the Alfa Romeo. So the times are coming in pretty fast, and we're going to see drivers coming in faster and faster, and there we go, Jordy's already set a faster lap time. And he's gone just 1/100th of a second faster than Ruben. So we're going to see some faster lap times coming in because the thing with the wet conditions is that it's not like the softs where you can kind of just go out and instantly perform. You're going to have to, let's just say, make those tires work a little bit more. So you gotta kind of go out for like the first 2 laps, warm up those tires, get a few laps in, and then those tires come into the place where they're gonna be super quick. And so everyone's first laps are gonna be not the quickest of lap times that we'll definitely see in today's session. It'll take them a while for them to get used to those wet tires. Giro's just gone faster. He's dipped it into the 1:11.9s. We have 3 different drivers in the 1:11.9, so that's great to see. And currently Giro's lap time is a 1:11.907. He has gone faster, but quite a bit in terms of F1 gaps to Jordy in second position for Mercedes. Now, a quick thing I want to mention, guys, if you did not check out the Hungarian Grand Prix that was last week, definitely go check that one out. It was an amazing race, truly was, and we had a very amazing race, truly did. So definitely go check out the Hungarian Grand Prix, round 5 of F8 in season number 30. And if you guys are new to PSGL, make sure to subscribe to see more content on F8 and all the other divisions that PSGL provides. And if you're enjoying the commentary so far, please make sure to like the stream. That would be very much appreciated. Alright, so we have, I think the Ferrari has just crashed out. One of the Ferraris, and that is at turn 8, exit at turn 8. We're going to ride on board with the other Ferraris. De Beausoleil now goes fastest with a 1:11.8, a faster lap time than Giro. And it looks like that was Bra in the Ferrari. He crashed out at turn 8, and his teammate almost lost the car a little bit, but Julio was able to keep it going. So that's very good. The last time out in Hungary, I'm going to spoil it right here for you guys. So I hope you did watch that race. But yeah, McLaren had a great result. They took a double podium, if I'm not mistaken. And that was a great result for McLaren. I think we got an interview with one of the McLaren drivers, and we were talking a bit about how they had really a great race. And yeah, hopefully that performance continues on here in Austria. I'm expecting a really good race from the McLaren guys here today in PSGL. I'm also expecting a great race from Alfa Romeo as well. Giro looking really strong in that Alfa as always. But his teammate, Felix 1, isn't able to make the race today. So Oze, if I'm not I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly. He's done P10. He's reserving for the Alfa Romeo team today. So if I'm not mistaken, he has not been in a previous race in this season so far. So this will be his first race in season number 30. So welcome to the grid, and hope you get a great race. As looks like we had Giro, speaking of the Alfa Romeos, going second fastest, and Nick Kenshin just went third as well for Alpine. And the times are coming in faster and faster. I told you guys, once those intermediate tires become, like, once you get a few laps on those intermediates, those tires become really, really quick. And so drivers want to make sure they get, like, maybe 2 to 3 laps on those intermediates before you can start pushing and engaging more of the ERS and all that sort of thing. So, yeah, it's quite interesting to see how that all worked out. So we got around 10 minutes remaining of this qualifying session. Drivers should have about 2 to 3 more laps to set a good enough lap time here. We'll see how this all works out, as there only is a few more minutes remaining of the session, but we'll see. And we already have a few comments coming in, one of them being, come on, DeBosler, you can do it. DeBosler's got the pace. He definitely has. Hungary didn't turn out to be the greatest race for him, but he's definitely got the pace to be able to be really strong today at the Red Bull Ring. Of course, he's been up there many different times in the previous races that we had so far this season, and he definitely has the pace. So I agree with the comment that was sent. Definitely go to Bosler. Let's see what he can do. And speaking of comments, if you guys are interested and all that sort of thing, if you have any questions you want to ask me about the upcoming race, the upcoming season, past races, really anything to do with F8, let me know down in the comments down below. I'll try and respond to all of those. Of course, I'm commentating, so it's quite hard to multitask, but I'll try my best to do so. So we have a few drivers coming into the pit lane and a few drivers coming out. We just had a Williams that came out on track. We also have El Palater coming on track. You can see the Williams mechanic right there, just letting know that Williams car is coming out. So it seems that both Williams are out on track now. De Bosler is coming out for another out lap. Let's see what he can do, as I think Ruben just improved to third, and he's just gone into the 111.3s for Red Bull. So that's good for him. He puts it up into the top 3, just a 10th behind Jordy's lap time, which is pole position currently. Who knows? The times will most likely come in pretty fast in the last few minutes of qualifying, but we'll see how that all works out. Will Jordy's lap stay there like a 111.2? We will find out once those few minutes come. So we also have Miles in the Williams. Schmalz in the Williams is currently reserving, I do believe, as it looks like Slash is unable to make it today, unless he changed his PSN, but I do not think that's the case. Almost got onto a spin there, but thankfully he saved the car. So let's ride on board with the Williams driver for today as he comes down to turn 1 in these very difficult conditions. If you go too wide, you can get an invalidation pretty easily. Don't come on the power too much, as you can spin the car very easily into turn 2, pretty much flat out through there. As you come up the hill to turn 3, heavy braking zone. You want to shift a little bit closer to what you would usually shift to, and same with braking as well. Come on the power very cautiously. That is one of the biggest traction zones on not just this circuit, but the entire F1 calendar as well. You can spin off very easily there. Down a little bit of a hill, and you come down to turn 4. You want to hit that curb as much as possible to the right there. Come on the power again, very slowly, as he gets a little bit too much oversteer, but it's all good as he comes down to turn number 5 and 6 and 7, all that area of the track. You want to shift down to around 4th to 5th gear, especially in these conditions. Purple sector for the Williams driver as he comes into turn 7. You're going to rotate that car quite a bit to the left, and then immediately right. That's another traction zone right there, as the car will spin out, and you have a lot of hard time of keeping the car in a straight line. Into the double right-handers, a very difficult part of the track. Don't go too wide into both of those turns. To the line now for Schmalz, and he comes to the line. He goes P5. So very good lap time by the Williams driver, a 111.6, and that puts him up into the top 6. Oh, that is actually him out of the race, and the Williams ends it with the crash. You just got too much on the power on the exit of turn 1, it seemed, or you got too much on the curb. But that is the Williams driver's day of qualifying over. He's going to be starting P5 at best, but I'm assuming a lot of drivers will be improving on their time. So that is Schmalz's lap time done and dusted. He is out of qualifying today. And it looks like DeBozler's up on his lap. Let's see what he can do. The AlphaTauri comes to the line. He goes on provisional pole position. DeBozler smashes the lap time and goes into the 1:11.1s, sets a faster lap time than Jordy, and goes on to provisional pole position here today in Austria. DeBozler's got some serious pace today, and if that is pole position, I mean, well done to him. He really does deserve that, because that was a cracking lap from the AlphaTauri driver. Ooh, he almost lost the car, though, at turn 3. Thank goodness he kept it going on the road. That was very close to DeBozler's qualifying ending as well. So that would have not been great, as we have the second Alfa Romeo driver. Ozzy in the Alpha has just gone 3rd and put the 2 Alphas up into the top 3s. Nick Kenshin now goes on provisional pole position. He has dipped into the 110s now. 110.9 for the Alpine driver. Nick Kenshin goes on provisional pole position, and that is a very quick lap time from the Alpine crew, as Nick absolutely did a great job in that. So maybe this rain is helping him to get a possible pole position. His first pole this season it would be. And he's definitely got the pace. Nick Kenshin has had some brilliant pace in the past couple of races. He hasn't been able to make it onto pole or win quite yet this season, but could today be the day for the Alpine driver that he scores his first win and possibly first pole position in today's season? We will see how that all works out. Will it be Nick Kenshin's first pole this season? We will find out once we get to the final few minutes of this qualifying session. So it looks like we have a few drivers going out on track, a few drivers out on laps. It looks like Robin West is on an out lap. Jarno in the McLaren is on an out lap. Same with El Piloter. Those 3 drivers in particular have got a strong chance of taking pole position today. I really think they do, and they got some serious pace in those cars. Giro has just gone 2nd as well. I think I missed that. He did go into the 110.9, so he is grabbed just 2/100ths of a second behind Nick Kenshin's lap time. So very good lap from Giro as well. Look out for him. Look out for him. I think Giro could be getting pole position today. He's been on a roll in the past couple of races now. I think he got a podium in Monaco. Same to do with France as well in round 3 and round 4. Round 5, he wasn't able to get onto the podium, if I'm not mistaken, unless I'm forgetting him from the podium celebrations, but I don't think I am. And maybe today he'll be able to get a good lap. We'll see how that all works out for the Alfa Romeo driver. Hyped as well needs a good lap time. It looks like Giulio's going out again for Ferrari. And the 2 McLarens are out on laps as well. So it's all about these drivers just getting to the end part of qualifying. Now they're all on laps except DeBozler and Hyped. Those 2 drivers are still on out laps, but they'll be coming to the line very soon, and they'll be able to set their lap time. So this should be a pretty smooth lap by everyone. They're just kind of warming up those tires, getting ready for another lap here. But few drivers have also been out there for quite a while, like Giro and Nick Kenshin. Both drivers are on 3-lap-old intermediate compound tires, so they will be pretty fast, I think, right now. These laps will be pretty quick for the 2 drivers currently sitting in 1st and 2nd position. Giro is a little bit up on his lap. He gets a little bit too much on the power there, but he is all good. He maintains his good gap to the car behind as well, so that's good. Let's see what his lap could be. Could Giro go faster and go on provisional pole position here today in Austria? To the line we go for Alfa Romeo. Giro to the line. Can he stick it on pole? Yes, he can! By 0.2 of a second, Giro goes faster, and that was a solid lap time from the Alfa Romeo driver. The question now is, can anyone beat that impressive lap time from the Alfa Romeo? Well, it looks like Jarno is on a lap as well. Robin has invalidated that lap, so he's not going to be improving. He needs a good lap time. He needs to make it to the end of this and make sure he gets a good lap, but we'll see how that all works out. Hype to the line. Can he set a good lap time? He puts a P13. Still into the bottom 10 there, but maybe he'll be able to improve on that time. Jordy's also on a lap, might get a little slipstream from the Red Bull ahead, but also that could hurt his lap quite a bit as well. The Alfa Romeo drivers just come across the line, then comes the McLaren. I think that might be Francie. No, that's Jarno. Jarno to the line now. Jarno just went 6th fastest for McLaren. DeBozler around the final corner. What can he do? Can DeBozler go on provisional pole position here today in Austria? No, he cannot. He stays P5, but I think he's going to get another lap time. I think that lap time was more of a cooldown lap for the AlphaTauri driver. Next to come across the line, lap time should be Chris Hallett. Chris to the line. Can he stick it on provisional pole? No, he stays P6, so the winner from Britain is unable to grab a higher position currently. Francie to the line now. What can Francie do? Francie goes P8. Ruben to the line. I think Ruben wasn't able to improve on that time. He stays P3. And I think the next driver to come across the lap time should be Jordy in that Mercedes. Let's see if Jordy can get it up into the top 3. Let's see what he can do. He goes into the top 3 with a 1:10.8. He's just a few 100ths of a second behind Nick Kenshin there, but he is very close. As Nick Kenshin goes on provisional pole position now, he grabs it away from Giro. 0.2 of a second. Where did he find that time? The Alpine has absolutely obliterated the competition and has gone on provisional pole position. I don't think anyone else can beat his lap unless someone else is just going to grab an absolutely sensational lap time here. Next to come across the lap time should be Chris, but he's got an invalid lap time. He is not improving on that time. Francie should be the next to come across the line and set a lap time here. Can Francie put it on provisional pole, take pole position here today in Austria? It doesn't look like that's the case. Ruben on a lap as well. Robin West on a lap. Francie to the line from McLaren. To the line, he puts it P3. It is up into the top 3. Ruben now puts it P3. Robin West to the line. What can he do? He puts it P11. And that should be it, unless Jordy... No, Jordy's got an invalid lap time, so that's it. That is the end of it. I think there is no one else on a current lap time. So we said it at the very beginning. Can Nick Kenshin grab his first pole position this season? And the answer is yes. Nick Kenshin is on pole position for the Austrian Grand Prix. He pulled out an incredible lap time by 0.2 of a second. Nick Kenshin is on pole here in Austria with an absolutely sensational lap time from Nick Kenshin. What a qualifying session. What a qualifying session, viewers. It was absolutely incredible. What a result for Alpine as well. At the end of it, Nick Kenshin grabs pole here in Austria at the Red Bull Ring. For round 6 of season 30, we get some incredible racing to behold here. So it is Nick Kenshin on pole with Giro in P2. Ruben completing the top 3. Francie put in an amazing lap as well for McLaren. He puts it into the top 4. Jordy qualifies in P5, so great lap from him in the Mercedes. Also, Ozzy in the Alfa Romeo was able to grab top 6, so congrats to him on that one as well. Really great performance to him. Bozer 7th, El Palater P8, Chris and Jarno rounding off the top 10. But wow. What a qualifying session. And now on to the race. And if we thought qualifying was entertaining, the race is about to be even better. Alright, and we're just waiting for the clock to tick down. You can see at the top of your screen, there is 16 seconds remaining of this loading screen here, and we should be going into the formation lap and then the race. We don't know what the conditions are going to be like in the Grand Prix itself. Unfortunately, we don't get that data on our screen, but that is quite alright. We will get that information when we head to the races. There we go. The loading screen is done. We are now heading into the formation lap as we head into the race. Prediction time, I guess. Who do we think is going to be grabbing the win here today in F8? Let me know down in the comments who you think is going to be grabbing the win. Will it be Nick Kenshin? De Bozler maybe? Jordy grabbing a win? Maybe Jarno from P10? Who knows what could happen? And we head into the race now. You can see that it is definitely dry conditions. There is clouds in the air. There is a possibility that there could be rain in the Grand Prix. So there is a possibility of that. But currently, there is no rain. We are going to head into the Grand Prix now on the dry compound tires. And I'm curious. I'm very curious to see what these drivers are going to do in terms of strategy, because Austria has a very interesting strategy, and with the rain coming into play, this means the drivers can start on whatever tire they choose. That is the rules for this. So they could start on the softs, they could start on the mediums, they can do whatever they want. So drivers could choose softs, drivers could choose mediums. Either one of those tires would work, and whatever strategy they're going to pick is going to be a good one. So I'm curious to see how that's going to work out, and of course what the strategy is going to be in today's race. One stop is usually the best option, but drivers also do two stop too, and that works out as well. So it's not too bad either way. Either way works. So it looks like Kenshin and Giro have gone for the sauce, and the rest of the top 5 have all gone for mediums. Very interesting to see that. There is the predicted pit stop strategy, powered by AWS. It is a one-stop soft medium or soft medium. That's another option. That is exactly what I was thinking as well. It's either going to be a soft medium, which I think is the best option, or soft, medium, soft. And the game says soft, medium. You can also do that, but I prefer, if you're going to do a two-stop, to do soft, medium, soft. And the two-stop is great too, because that means that a safety car can come out at any point and help you out with that strategy. And the one-stop is more about conserving those tires. So anyway, before we get into the race itself, let's do a rundown of the grid, so you guys know who's in what position. So Nick Kenshin lines up on pole position for Alpine F1 team. Giro is in P2 for Alfa Romeo, qualifying in second position. Looking down at the rest of the grid, we got Ruben starting on those medium compound tires. Alongside him is Francie in the McLaren, starting P4. Jordi and Ose, both drivers are starting P5 and P6. Jordi on the medium compound tires. Ose in the Alfa Romeo, qualifying P6 on the softs. De Bosler is P7 with El Pilotaire in P8, with Chris, the British Grand Prix winner, in P9, with Jarno in P10 for McLaren. And then it's Mats in P11, Robin in P12, Hyped in P13, Shizmals in the Williams starting P14, with the two Ferraris rounding off the grid. Alright, so it's time to get the racing underway for PSGL's F8 division on PlayStation. This is season number 30, round 6 of this championship. We have 36 laps awaiting us for this truly incredible Austrian Grand Prix. We cannot wait to see what happens. Alright, so the lights are about to go out. It's 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And it's lights out, and away we go for racing here today in Austria. It's a great start for Nick Kenshin. He leads us away down to turn 1. Giro slots in right behind in an Alpha. Misjudges the braking point and hits the back of another car. Unfortunate to see that, but Giro got a very good exit out of turn 1. He's going to try and make the move on Nick Kenshin, possibly down to turn 3. Nick Kenshin defends though. Giro stays in P2. As we look to the other half of the grid, we have a Red Bull trying to make the move on a Mercedes. Jordi did not have the greatest start. He is down to P10. Jarno down to P11. De Bosler P5. He had a great start, but there goes Chris Howlett on El Pilotaire. The Williams trying to go for a switchback maneuver as Chris Howlett's now going for the move on OC as well. Chris making a lot of positions up as he's gone up into P6, and OC has hit the back of Chris there. Contact between the two drivers as the Alpha and the Haas have unfortunately made contact. OC's got major damage now. You can see it as he's coming back on track. And he's going to be down in, unfortunately, P15. It's all good, though, but Nick Kenshin does lead us away, coming down to turn 1. A very short lap for around here, and Nick Kenshin has got around a 0.5 of a second gap to Giro in P2. Ruben still P3 with Francie in P4, and De Bosler completing the top 5 for AlphaTauri. Meanwhile, as I did say, Chris Howlett had a great start for Haas, and now we got El Pilotaire making the move on Hyped, but Hyped's got those soft compound tires. He could make the move, try and send it down the inside of the Williams. No, he knows that there's not enough space to make that overtake on the Williams quite yet. Purple sector, though, for El Pilotaire, and I'm assuming everyone's going to be setting purple sector, so keep an eye on that as well. Jordi did not have the greatest start. We mentioned that briefly earlier on. He is down to P9 from P6, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was contact possibly with OC. Maybe he was the driver that was hit from the Alfa Romeo. Not exactly sure what exactly happened there, but it seems like maybe both of them had contact or something like that. But unfortunately, Jordi is down to P9, and he's going to have to make his recovery drive to get back up into the top 6 of where he was previously. Meanwhile, the top 3 are battling for position. Ruben on those mediums. Now, he is going to be very slow compared to the softs runners. Giro and Nick Kenshin are going to be much faster. Nick Kenshin now sets the fast lap. There goes El Piloter, proving that he did have a purple sector in that particular sector. But yeah, the mediums are not going to be the fastest tire, but they will be in due time. So now Giro has got the DRS on Nick Kenshin, and the great thing about Austria is that there's so many different places to make an overtake. There's 3 DRS zones to help encourage that as well. And so this means that we're going to get some great racing. We're going to get some great side-by-side action between all these drivers. So down to turn 4, Giro is a little bit too far behind. He cannot make the move on Nick Kenshin quite yet. Nick Kenshin makes a little bit of a lockup, though, on the right side of the car. Could that have given him a little bit more of degradation on his tires? Possibly. Not exactly sure, though. As we have, I think, the Ferrari off the track. What's going on? That is Giulio off the track there in the Ferrari. And what happened there? I think that's a spin possibly at turn 1. Unfortunately, the Ferrari driver is down to P16, and that is exactly where you don't want to be. But who knows? The safety car can come out at any point and help out those drivers that are a little bit further away from where they would like to be. Hype is now set the fastest lap of the race. He is on soft compound tires, and he's in a pretty good gap to the car ahead, so it makes sense why he did set the fastest lap of the race. But here comes Giro on Nick Kenshin using the DRS. Ruben right there as well. Is Giro going to try and make the send? No, he does not. Is Ruben going to try something? No, he does not. And Francie right there as well. But look at this. Ruben going for the move on Giro. But Giro also trying to make the move on Nick Kenshin. Are we going to see a 3-wide moment between these drivers? Here goes Giro down the inside of Nick Kenshin. Oh no! There's contact between the two. Giro and Nick Kenshin made contact. The 2 race leaders have made contact on lap 4. Ruben takes the lead. Chris in P2. Francie P3. But Nick Kenshin's got up to P3 now. But Giro and Nick Kenshin make major contact. That completely changes the results of the Grand Prix. I'm not exactly sure what happened. The stewards will definitely look into that. But the question now is, does Nick Kenshin and Giro have damage? It doesn't seem like Nick Kenshin's pitting, so he does not have damage so far. But I think Giro's got major damage. It seems like he does as he's going to head into the pit lane. Yes, he is. He's coming into the pit lane now. So Giro into the pits, unfortunately. He had major wing damage due to the contact with Nick Kenshin. So Nick didn't seem to get contact, but he did lose position. So unfortunate to see all that happen, but it is the way of the race. As we have De Bosler making the move on Nick Kenshin. Now El Piloter making the move on the Alpine driver. As El Piloter looking to get up ahead of Nick Kenshin. Maybe Nick has just got a little bit too much, maybe just has a tiny bit of damage that could affect his race. And now we got Hyped trying to make the move on the Alpine as well. There goes the Red Bull up into P5, and Hyped is now up into 5th position there. As it looks like we have Francie spinning around, and Jarno as well. Jarno and Robin. Contact between the two, I think. As we have the Aston and the McLaren. That is a full course safety car that has been deployed. This helps out all the drivers that pit earlier on and have wing damage right now. And wow, this has really affected the race results now, because over the past 2 laps we had so many changes in terms of the position now, and who knows what is going to happen now as the safety car comes out and a few drivers are coming into the pit lane. Nick Kenshin most likely had a little bit of damage on the car, not visually speaking, but it seemed like he had a little bit of damage, maybe line wing damage there to the car. It seems like that was the case. Not exactly sure. El Piloter also coming into the pit lane, but it seems like that is just down to strategy, as he's pitting onto the hard compound tires. Now the question is, can he make those hards go to the end of the race? That is a very big ask. It is actually a very big ask. I don't think you can do that. Hards go for around, I'd say, 25, maybe 26 laps. I mean, it's possible. You can take the hards 30 laps, but you're going to be struggling quite a bit. So it's possible you can take those hards to the end of the race, because the tire degradation is not the worst for round tier. You can take these tires for a little bit longer than what you've liked, and also because these drivers are starting all on new tires, it's very good for their race. And of course with the safety car as well, kind of halting all the degradation on that tire, it's very good news for anyone struggling with tire wear. So going back to what I was saying, hard compound tires, can they go to the end of the race? We have about 30 laps remaining. And I think it is definitely possible for the hards to make it to the end from now. But El Pilotaire and really anyone that pits onto the hards is going to be struggling a little bit towards the end. I'd say around lap 31. I'd say lap 31, lap 32, somewhere around there. Those drivers are going to be starting to struggle on those hard compound tires. They'll last around there. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. We'll see how that all works out. I'm curious to see if those hard tires will make it to the end of the race. Alrighty, so we have many more laps to go in this race, as Francie has just been given a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. McLaren, they had a very good race in Hungary, and unfortunately here in Austria, it is not turning out to be the best race today. They are down in P14 and P16. Jarno had to pit again. Francie had to do the same and got a 5-second time penalty in the process. It is not looking like a very good day here at McLaren. So, another thing is that we've just reached 30 live viewers, which is a huge achievement. So thank you very much, guys, for joining. Really do appreciate everybody joining the stream. Keep watching to the end of this as we have a very exciting race to come into play, as a lot of drivers are coming into this strategy game, and also we're going to see a ton of overtakes, and I mean a ton of overtakes, because like I mentioned previously, there is just so many different places to make an overtake for a round here. You got the first turn, which I have to admit, it's a little bit more difficult than other overtaking opportunities, but it is an overtaking space. Turn 3 is another great place to make an overtake, down into that hairpin. And then, of course, there's turn 4 as well. Both of those turns are the best place to make an overtake. There's also turn 5 in that huge sector 2 section of the track, which I absolutely love making an overtake for rounds here, as drivers tend to go side by side and give us some great action to look forward to. So my point is that we're going to see some great overtakes, and we're going to have a lot of overtakes in this race. Alrighty, so we have Francie coming into the pit lane again, and I do believe that's to serve that 5-second time penalty. There's also Williams coming into the pit lane, but it looks like both drivers should make it to the back of the pack there, so it should be all good. So that is very good. Ruben will lead us away on the medium compound tires. So this will be very good news for the Red Bull driver, and we'll see what he can do. Safety car is coming in this lap, and the question now is, when will Ruben step on the throttle and go for it? And that is probably going to come on turn 9, on the exit of turn 9. That's that first right-hander, or the second right-hander, which is the final turn of the track, and that's turn 10. So we'll find out. But what Ruben needs to do is make sure that he backs up the pack quite a bit and gets a very good start off of Chris Hallett, because Chris, De Bozler, and Hyped are all on soft compound tires, and they're going to be flying at the start of this race. And the mediums, they're not too great on the first lap pace. But once they come into the next few laps, then they get pretty fast. So De Bozler weaving those tires, getting ready to start the race, and I have a feeling that he's going to go on the exit of turn 9. Yes, he does. He goes at turn 9, and he's going to lead us away by around 0.6 of a second to Chris. Ooh, Chris almost losing the car there. De Bozler's now going to try and make the move on the Haas. As here comes the AlphaTauri driver. Is he going to try and make the move? No, he does not. We'll get back to the action further down the grid as well. Actually, we'll just do that now, as we have a lot of drivers actually kind of in a DRS train right now. Not a lot of overtakes right now. Is there anybody that's trying to go for a move? I think that's a Ferrari trying to make a move on an Alpine. It's actually El Pilotaire making the move on the Ferrari. Here comes El Pilotaire in the Williams. Let's ride on board with the Williams driver. He's on the hard compound tires, remember. He's going to try and send it down the inside we go. But Braun breaks a little bit later. Gets a lockup in the process, though. And El Pilotaire has to back off. But he has that opportunity to try and make that move on Braun. He wants to make that move as soon as possible as well. And Nick Kenshin recovering after what happened with him and Giro. Giro also in P10. So these two trying to make their way through the field and recover after the contact that they had on lap 4. So it's not end game at all for these guys. It is not the end of the race. as they are still going for some major points in the race and possibly even a top 5 in this Grand Prix. As it looks like El Pilotaire is going to try it once again on the Ferrari, coming down to turn 1. El Pilotaire got a very good exit. He shouldn't have any DRS, but he's got that power. As we also have a great battle for P9, and we're going to see a 3-wide moment between these 3 drivers, Robin, Nick, and Giro. Giro and Nick are side by side. We also have Jarno in the McLaren trying to make a move as well. Robin just right behind. Are we going to see another 3-wide moment? No, we're not, but Nick Kenshin and Giro come down to turn 4 where there was contact previously. There is not today. Giro is going to have to settle for P10 because Nick Kenshin continues to defend against the Alfa Romeo and keeps P9. Great battle there for P9. Keep it up, guys. So, meanwhile, up at the front of the field, that battle still continues on with the battle for basically second right now. Ruben had an amazing start. He has got that gap to 1.5 seconds. DRS is now enabled as we speak of overtakes. And we will now see the great battle for second position right now, as we possibly are going to see. Oh, as that is hyped off the track. He got too much on the power. Too much on the power there for the Red Bull driver. He's going to lose that position to Jordy now, who's going to watch this battle for second position with De Beauselaer and Chris De Beauselaer. It looks like there may be a little bit of contact between the two drivers. But De Beauselaer will have the opportunity to try and make the move on Chris, and he didn't go for it. It should be a pretty easy overtake for the AlphaTauri driver. He gets himself up into second position now, and the number 23 car moves himself into the top 2 in today's race. So great result for De Beauselaer right now. Next up, as he has to chase after Ruben, but also make sure that he keeps Chris and the rest of the field behind him. And we have Chris on De Beauselaer, Jordy in P4, and that Mercedes driver is right behind Chris. Also, just letting you guys know, I have no idea why, but I put Austria in the little title there. I have no idea why it says France. It must have changed automatically. I have no idea why. So super sorry for that. We'll fix that at the end of the Grand Prix. But just know this is Austria, not France. Got no idea why the game decided to change that, or the PlayStation settings decided to change that, because I'm totally being honest with you guys. I put Austria in the title there. I've got no idea why it says France. Anyway, moving on. Ruben in P1, De Beauselaer in P2, Jordy in P3, Chris in P4, hyped in P5. That is the top 5 for these 5 different drivers. Matt's in the Alpine in P6, so it's looking pretty good for the Alpine driver as well. El Pilotaire is in P7, hyped in that Red Bull right behind Chris. And let's see if that Red Bull will be able to make the overtake on the Haas driver as he is coming down to turn number 1. If the Red Bull will be able to make the move on Chris in a moment now. He cannot. He can't make it. He can't make the overtake on to turn 1. Also, we had Jordy making the move on Chris, and now he's going to go for the move on De Beauselaer. Around the outside he goes into turn 3. He gets a little bit of a lockup there. De Beauselaer right behind, though, and the Mercedes is going to be right behind the AlphaTauri. And De Beauselaer's got the DRS. He might have the opportunity to make the move again. He's going to try and send it. No, he backs off. He knows he cannot make the overtake on the Mercedes quite yet. But he's going to stick right behind that Mercedes driver. And hyped P4, Chris P5 for Haas. And Matt's in the Alpine P6 still. So that battle's still continuing on for second position. And also El Pilotaire in the mix as well for Williams. So we have the Alfa Romeo trying to make a move on Francie and Brun as well. This is a great battle for P8. No idea what is going to happen here, because this is just going to be absolutely incredible. Francie moves himself up into P8. And we don't know who's going to get ahead, but it looks like Francie will get ahead for now. And now Ozzy is now going to try and make the move on Bra, coming down to turn 3. He's now going to try and make that move and get up into P4. So now the Alpha gets into 9th, but now Bra might try and go for the switchback maneuver, but it looks like the Alpha just had the better traction out of that particular turn. Also, we got Nick Kenshin and Giro. I think they pit again. No idea why. Same with Robin. All 3 drivers have pit for another set of compound tires. I'm not sure exactly why, but Giro might try and make the move on Nick Kenshin. Robin right there as well, and we'll continue to see how this battle goes on in a bit. And the drivers that are usually fighting for top 5 in this race are down in the bottom half of the grid, I guess, which is a little unfortunate, but that's how it goes. They will move on to future races, and hopefully we'll be able to still get some good points in today's race. Hopefully a safety car comes out for them, as we have El Piloter and Chris side by side. Switchback maneuver for the Williams driver. Ooh, did he get too much on the power? Yes, he did. El Piloter spins. And that's the Williams driver now slowly drifting down to P12 now. And that is super unfortunate for the Williams driver. It was going all so well. I think he just got too much on the power out of turn 3 and unfortunately moved down to 12th. So we're kind of in this moment where we're kind of just waiting for those strategies to... Oh, DeBosler spins! The AlphaTauri is spun around at turn 8. It was going really well for DeBosler. He was P3, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And now I think he's got a little bit of damage because he's coming into the pit lane now. And DeBosler, that is his race, really hurt. And he's going to have to come back strong after that. And Chris also entered the pit lane. I think maybe these two drivers just struggled with those tires. That's maybe why they spun in the first place. Or DeBosler spun. That's probably why Chris is also pitting as well. But it looks like they did come out in P11 and P12, unless Nick Kenshin is going to be able to overtake DeBosler. It's going to be very close. That's the fast lap of the race. Here comes DeBosler. Here comes Nick Kenshin. Ooh, it's going to be really close, but it is DeBosler that just barely gets ahead of the Alpine. And a very good pit stop by AlphaTauri. That spin did not help out DeBosler, but it is good news for him because he does move himself up into 12th. And meanwhile, Jordy has catched up to Ruben. And Jordy's got the gap down to 0.4 of a second to the Red Bull driver. The Mercedes might be able to make the move on this particular lap. Lap 17, we are pretty much halfway into this race. And Jordy could be making the move on Ruben, which could change the race lead of the Austrian Grand Prix here today in PSGL. Jordy is now going to try and make that move on the Red Bull as we come down to turn 3. Here comes the Mercedes on the Red Bull driver coming down into that heavy braking zone. Jordy gets ahead, but is Ruben going to use that DRS and the power of that Red Bull to try and make the move on Jordy? It doesn't look like that's the case. Jordy had just too much speed out of turn 3 and was able to keep ahead, so Jordy successfully takes the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix. And also, we're seeing a brilliant battle for 4th now. Francie and Matt side by side. Matt's in the Alpine will get ahead. Francie's going to just slot in right behind that Alpine driver. And here comes the Williams and the Alfa Romeo driver. The two reserves. Oh, is that Matt? Almost spinning off there. And it looks like Bra is also out of the race. Could that be a full course safety car? Yes, it is a full course safety car. Another safety car has been called out. This is absolutely perfect for anyone that has just pit. Chris, DeBosler, Nick, Giro, Robin, Yarno. This is absolutely amazing for them. Everyone is coming into the pit lane. That was perfect timing for the rest of the field. Chris gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. And that has really affected his race result now, as Chris at the end of this will have to come into the pit lane and unfortunately serve that drive-through penalty. That is incredibly unfortunate for the Haas driver. It was going also well. He was in a really good position here to get up into the top 5. And unfortunately, he's got that drive-through penalty. So a lot of action and a lot of things that has changed on this particular lap. We had a Ferrari that crashed out. Bra in the Ferrari has crashed out at, I do believe, turn 7. And then we also had I think the Williams or the Alpine. It was Mats. Mats almost spun the car. That was very close to a DNF for the Alpine as well. But thank goodness he kept it out on track. Super unfortunate to see the Ferrari out of the race. Braun, the Ferrari, is unfortunately retired from the Austrian Grand Prix, but he will definitely get into the next one, and all the best for the next one as well. Come back stronger. So Jordy and Ruben are coming into the pit lane. Now, this is really interesting now because a lot of drivers could overtake these pack of cars coming into the pit lane. I'm particularly looking at Height, who is in P6 currently, could be taking over as a race leader, possibly? Or is the Red Bull and the Mercedes do take P2 and P3? I did not expect that pit stop to be that fast for those drivers, but it is Jordy and Ruben that take P2 and P3. Hype does move himself up to P4, which is great news for him. And then it looks like the Ferrari of Julio in the Ferrari, F1R Julio in the Ferrari, will take P1 on the 12-lap old medium compound tires. So very interesting to see how that all worked out, but P1 for the Ferrari. Very good job. Also, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing a name or two here. I'm not very good with pronouncing names, so apologies for that one. But Jordy in the Mercedes in P2, Ruben in P3, and Red Bulls hyped in P4. Both Red Bulls in the top 4, looking really strong for the Red Bull team. All right, so we are heading in to the final remaining laps of the Austrian Grand Prix here in PSGL. We are going to see an amazing end to this race. It's going to be absolutely incredible to see what these drivers can do. I cannot wait to see what is going to be happening here. It is going to be phenomenal. Safety car comes in this lap for the second time today. We have a safety car, and that bunches up the field, and we sure are going to get an incredible race here today. We have a mix between tire strategies as well. We have the Ferrari currently leading the Grand Prix on 13-lap old medium compound tires. Jordy and Ruben on the softs. And then we got the rest of the field also on softs as well. A few drivers on mediums. So a mix in tire strategy, which is absolutely incredible to see. We'll see a very good battle between all these drivers, defending, overtaking, all that sort of thing. And also conserving those tires. So here we come to the line. And we're just going to wait for Julio to go, and there goes the Ferrari driver up into P1 now, and he leads us away by quite a bit now, but the Mercedes then gains a little bit more time, and that's just down to those soft compound tires, and Jordy should be able to make the move on the Ferrari as we come down to turn 3. Let's see. Jordy using a little bit of ERS. Let's get telemetry on so we can see that. He's using a little bit of ERS to try and make the move on the Ferrari driver. Is he going to try and send it? No, he does not. He backs off. He knows he cannot make the move on the Ferrari, but the Ferrari locks up. Oh, a little bit of contact. Julio, a little bit of a lock up there. And Ruben will now make the overtake on Julio there. Hyped could get in the action as well. And this is absolutely brilliant to see as we have a great action here. We have some great action here as the Ferrari is unfortunately slipping down the field. The Red Bull is now going to make the overtake, and Hype will get himself up into P3 now. And Shizmal's in the Williams will be looking to make the move on Julio's very soon. Francie in the McLaren right there as El Piloter and Matt side by side. This is not a place where you see side-by-side action, but they're going for it. El Piloter has absolutely done a brilliant move, and he's got himself on a P8. Very good move from the Williams. But going up to the top 5 now, once again, we got Shizmals making the move on Julio Francie in the McLaren right there as well. As, 3-second time penalty for the Williams driver, as Francie using a little bit ERS. He's got very low ERS, I gotta say, but he's gonna try and use it to try and get past that Ferrari. He is on fresher compound tires, so it makes sure why he wants to overtake the Ferrari. A little bit of wheel banging there. A little surprising to see that, as now we have Ozzy in the Alfa Romeo making the move on the Ferrari. And El Piloter also having a great battle with De Boselaer and Matt. Great to see that as well. De Boselaer trying to defend against that Alpine that's on soft compound tires. But up at the front, Jordy leads away a 1.2 second gap to the Red Bull of Ruben. Hyped in the second Red Bull, sitting P3 with Shizmals in P4 and Francie in P5 for McLaren. So we now approach lap 23. Jordy has now set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. He is flying out there, and the question is, can Ruben close the gap up and start getting within that DRS zone to start overtaking Jordy and get in that position to do so? As, yellow flag. I think that might be Jarno off the track at turn 1. Maybe got too much of the power or spun on the curbs. Either one of those. It is a very difficult corner to get completely right, and it's understandable why he did spin. As we have a few other overtakes going on. I think we got El Piloter and Julio in the Ferrari swapping positions. We got Ozzy in the Alfa Romeo right behind Shizmals, and we got Francie. Oh, there goes the Alfa Romeo on the Williams. Wow, I did not expect him to make that overtake, but he did. He did a great job at that. Very good move from the Alfa Romeo on the soft compound tires. Remember, he's going to be on the softs, going to be much faster than Francie and Hyped and all those other drivers that are on the medium compound tires. So it makes sense why he is very fast, but he's got a lot of courage. The Alpha's got a lot of courage, especially in his first race this season, especially for the Alfa Romeo team. So really, really well done to Ozzy here in the Alfa Romeo. He's going to start chasing after Francie, who is on 7-lap-old medium compound tires. He's got DRS. Let's see if he can make the overtake. Maybe using a little bit of ERS. No, he does not. Is he going to make the move on the McLaren? He's going to try and go down the inside. Here it goes. He gets that overtake done. I think Francie will just back off, and a very good move from Ozzy. He just kept that, defended it, had a lot of courage there, and he got the move. Very good opportunity for him, and a great overtake as well. So El Piloter also moves himself up into P5. We also have Robin West, and I think he's just made 2 overtakes. Wow, Robin is going through the field now, and he's on those soft compound tires. He's trying to get up into the top 5 after a very difficult start to the Grand Prix. Oh, and that is Francie spinning around. Francie spinning around in the second McLaren. It has not been the greatest day for McLaren. It was going very well for McLaren. And he spins it again. As El Piloter is the fastest lap of the race. He's just got too much. Those tires are too hot. He's gonna dive into the pit lane as well. It was going a little well for McLaren. When the safety car came out, they had some good positions, but then it just didn't really go well towards the end of it. Really unfortunate to see McLaren end off their race like this, but they'll come back stronger at the next one, as they always do. As it looks like Robin is now making the move on Shizmals. He's just got up into P6. Francie does retire from the Grand Prix, and it looks like we also have a great opportunity to look at a great overtake. We got the Alpha on the Ferrari. Giro gets himself ahead of Julio, and it's up into P8. Julio's tires are going to start degrading quite a bit, and I wonder if that Ferrari driver will have to come into the pit lane in the next couple of laps. Oh! And that is the Ferrari now spinning off, maybe due to those tires being too old and not having enough grip. And that was a very heavy impact for Julio and the Ferrari, and he's definitely going to come into the pit lane now because that Ferrari driver has most likely got wing damage after the contact with the wall. I'm not exactly sure, though. Let's find out. And, ooh, he's definitely got damage. And yeah, okay, the Ferrari does come into the pit lane. As to be expected, makes complete sense. Unfortunate to see the Ferrari driver of Giulio having a spin there. He was in P1, and I think those tires just dropped quite fast. And it was unfortunate, but it is the way it goes. So we move on. OC in the Alfa Romeo is now going to start chasing after Hyped. And could OC grab his first podium this season? And, I mean, in his debut race, wouldn't that be incredible if he got a podium in his debut race? I mean, I would really like to see that. But, of course, every single driver does deserve a podium. So we'll see what happens. We'll see who's able to grab the position as OC is right on the back of Hyped in that Red Bull, currently in P3. Let's see if the Alpha will be able to make the move on the Red Bull into turn 3. He's got some very good exit out of turn 1, but Hyped has got DRS off his teammate, so there's no way OC can make the overtake on the Red Bull quite yet. And that's actually very good for Red Bull as well. They're playing the team game here. Ruben is giving DRS to his teammate, and they want a good result, because if Red Bull can get some good points today, that can put them higher up into the championship and hopefully get them into contention of fighting for the Constructors as well. So Jordy has now almost got a 2-second gap to Ruben. It is looking very good for the Mercedes driver. He didn't start in the top 3, but Jordy has made his way through the field, and he has put on some incredible performances in today's race. He had a great start. He had some great overtakes as well, which was great to see. And he's had an incredible race so far. So let's just see if he can continue this and hopefully get his first win, which would be absolutely incredible for the Mercedes driver. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen here for the battle for second. DRS still enabled, and DRS, or Hyped is still in the DRS of Ruben, which is very interesting. So we'll see. We'll see if Ruben will be able to keep going with the Red Bull and keep that gap to his teammate, giving him DRS. So that'll be great as well. A comment came in asking for penalties to be shown. Yes, I will get that up and going on our screens now. So currently we got Robin West on 3-second time penalty, Shizmo's on 6-second time penalties, Giro on 6-second time penalties, Yarno, Chris, and Giulio on penalties as well. So all those drivers on penalties, and it looks like the top 5 are all on no penalties, which is very good for them, and we will see an epic end to this PSGL race here in Austria. Alrighty, so it looks like Hyped is now broken into the 10-lap range of those medium compound tires. I think those mediums are going to just start to degrade, but good news for the Red Bull is that those soft runners are also, their tires are going to start to degrade as well. So this will be very interesting. Now the question is, what do Red Bull want to do with their drivers here? Do they think that Hyped has got a really good chance of taking the win here today? Because we got to ask the question. Ruben is on those soft compound tires. Same with Jordy. And if Ruben's going to start struggling with those tires, same goes for Jordy. And Hyped's tires are going to be faster because he is on a harder compound tire than the softs. And so in this case, would Red Bull maybe like to swap the two drivers and get Hyped up in a second, start chasing after Jordy, who's going to start struggling a little bit? I mean, you know what? That might be a really good opportunity for Red Bull to take a win. I think that's probably the best situation for Red Bull right now if they want to swap the two drivers. Of course, we want Ruben to get a good result. We want Hype to get a good result. But in terms of the team result and in terms of getting that win, it might be best to switch the two drivers and give Hype that opportunity to start chasing after Jordy. And of course, he's going to be on those fresher compound tires and faster compound tires because those softs are going to start degrading. And here goes El Pilotaire on OC in the Williams on the Alfa Romeo. Oh, El Pilotaire going for the move on Hyped as well. That was a very late dive bomb. And I think either he made a mistake with the braking point or I don't know. I don't know exactly what happened there. But El Pilotaire is going to try and make that move on Hyped as well. But it looks like Hyped keeps ahead. El Pilotaire still P4 and OC in P5. So this battle still continues. But because of that, I think Hyped also lost a little bit of time to his teammate, which is a little unfortunate, but I think it's all good there, as the Red Bull will continue on with the gap that he has to his teammate and still will be in DRS range. So 6 or so laps remaining of this Austrian Grand Prix. We have lost Bra and Francie from the race. Both Ferrari and McLaren have retired from the Grand Prix. 14 runners still in this amazing Austrian Grand Prix that we have truly had here in F8 at the Red Bull Ring. It has truly been incredible. So also we have a great battle for 6th right now. We got Rob and Wes on De Beausoleil coming down to turn 3. Here comes the Aston Martin. Is he going to try and make the move? No, he does not. He's 6 behind the AlphaTauri for now. De Beausoleil will be keeping P6, but he got a not so great exit out of turn 3, and now De Beausoleil might be under threat from Robin trying to make that overtake. But it seems that Robin will keep behind that AlphaTauri for now, and he will stick in P7 for the time being, but he should have another opportunity to make the overtake in the next lap, and that should get him up into the top 6. And what Robin needs to do is get past De Beausoleil and start getting that gap so he can keep P6, because he does have that 3-second time penalty to his name, which is of course going to affect his position if he stays within the gap to De Beausoleil. Yellow flag, I think that is Julio that has lost the car turn 1. And we'll ride on board with El Palater and see exactly what happened to the Ferrari driver. It looks like maybe just a spin or something like that. Turn 1 has proved to be a very difficult corner today for all drivers, and I mean, it is a very difficult corner, so I don't blame them at all. So with the Red Bull situation, this continues on. Hype still staying in 3rd position. No change in terms of the Red Bull drivers so far. I think they're just keeping Ruben in P2, Hyped in P3, and it's working out well right now. I mean, Ruben's keeping in P2, Hyped is keeping in P3 and keeping El Palater and Ozzy behind. So it's working quite well for the Red Bull team right now. If they can just consistently keep this up, then they can grab a double podium today. So Hyped in the Red Bull is right behind Ruben in that 2nd Red Bull. As we have another retirement from the race, that is Julio out of the race, and I think that was in the pit lane, so no safety car or anything like that. As here comes Hyped, I think he's going to try and make the move on the Red Bull. And is Hyped going to try and fight back, or is Ruben going to try and fight back against Hyped? Ooh, a little bit of wheel baiting. You guys are teammates, make sure not to hit each other. I think it's all good though, but El Palater is going to move up into not just 3rd, possibly even 2nd now, because he's going to try and make a move on Hyped. A double overtake for the Williams, possibly. Let's see. As he's trying to make the move, but Ruben's coming back at him. Here comes Ruben, side by side with El Palater, coming down to turn 5, but it is the Williams that keeps ahead. And I think that little bit of contact between Hyped and Ruben did affect their position, and that made them vulnerable to El Palater, and put that Williams up in a really good position to get a podium here. But it is not over for Red Bull anytime soon, because Ruben is going to be right behind that Williams and is going to start chasing after him, and he's right behind him. He is 1/10 behind. He's going to try and make the overtake. He's looking for it to the inside line. He cannot make the overtake though. Oh, Hyped makes a little mistake. That could put El Palater up into 2nd now. Here comes the Williams. Hyped trying to defend. Oh, and El Palater is shifting down on purpose, going for the switchback maneuver on the Red Bull. That was very interesting. I think he knows that the DRS is more powerful right here, and then he can get up in a 2nd. So, and that's exactly what's just happened. So, makes sense why. He has moved himself up into 2nd now, and El Palater moves himself ahead of the 2nd Red Bull now. So, it's not really gone to plan for Red Bull right now, as they now got Ozzy right behind as well, and they've lost that double podium for now. But it would be good if they can reclaim that, and they definitely got the pace to do so. I think Hyped definitely has the pace right now. He's going to be on those mediums, which are going to be much faster than El Palater. They are on different ERS. It shouldn't affect the race too much, so we'll see. But Hyped has just been given a 3-second time penalty. Let's get penalties back up on screen. Hyped now has that 3 seconds, and now it should finish with Jordy in P1, Ruben in P2, and Ozzy in P3 for Alfa Romeo. because El Pilotaire and Hyped both have penalties as we enter the final 2 laps of the races. There goes Hyped down the inside on El Pilotaire. That was a late overtake from the Red Bull driver, but it worked out. And Hype now moves himself up into 2nd position. And right now, oh, Giro's out. Giro out of the race. He has crashed out at turn 3. Oh, major damage to that Alfa Romeo. No safety cars or virtual safety cars since it is the final 2 laps of the race. But that is a major crash for the Alfa Romeo driver, and it was going so well for Giro as well. He was up into the top 7, which was great for him. Oh, Jordy spins! No, the race leader has spun it! Absolutely! Drama on lap 35. I'm speechless. The race leader has spun it. Hype takes over as race leader. This is absolutely insane. And now the race has just come into a totally different end to the Grand Prix because the race leader has spun it on the final 2 laps of the race. At turn 8, Hype now leads to the race, and currently, Ruben will finish in 1st position with another race win, but El Pilotaire going for the move on Hyped. Anything can happen, as just shown. What drama to end off the Austrian Grand Prix. The final lap begins. El Pilotaire is trying to make the move on Hyped. This is for the podium, remember, and Ruben trying to get in the mix as well. Hyped is going to try and go down the inside on El Pilotaire. As a little bit of contact between the 2, Ruben's gonna move himself up into 1st position now. Ruben takes over as race leader. The 2 Red Bulls are side by side. Remember, this is the final lap of the race. It is Red Bull 1-2, but it shouldn't finish this way. Ozzy now goes up into P3. He has made the overtake on the Williams of El Pilotaire, but in a dramatic end to the Austrian Grand Prix, Ruben comes around the final corner to end off the race. And to win the Austrian Grand Prix, Ruben takes home his 2nd race victory of season number 30. Aussie on his debut in PSGL grabs 2nd position for Alfa Romeo. What a result on his debut. Hyped in P3 for Red Bull, making it a double podium for Red Bull Racing. What an end to the race. What drama ending off the race. I feel for Jordy. I absolutely feel for the Mercedes driver. It was going his way. It was absolutely going his way. And one little mistake sent him off into a spin on just a few more corners of entering the final lap. I am just absolutely speechless. I cannot believe what has just happened. What an end to the Austrian Grand Prix. So here is the podium celebrations. Ruben for Red Bull Racing grabs the win on a dramatic end to the race. Ruben absolutely deserves that. His 2nd win of the season. He grabbed the race victory in Monaco. He grabs another race victory here in Austria. Red Bull's home Grand Prix, if you look at it that way. And it's a double podium for the Red Bull boys. So congrats to them on that one. 1st and 3rd for Red Bull. They get a absolutely amazing result for the team today. Aussie as well in that Alfa Romeo. And he grabbed 2nd position, his debut in PSGL, if I'm not mistaken, this season. And he grabbed 2nd position. What a race for him as well. That's the top 3. Let's look at the rest of the grid. El Pilotaire grabs the fastest lap and takes P4 for Williams, with De Bosler and P5 for AlphaTauri. Jordy, unfortunately, spinning on the final 2 laps of the race, taking P6. Nick Kenshin, who started on pole, finishes in P7, with Shizmals in P8 for Williams, Robin West in P9, and Jarno in P10 for McLaren, completing the top 10 in Austria. But what a race, guys. What an absolutely amazing end to the Austrian Grand Prix here in F8. I think that might be the best, of course it's not good for Jordy, but it was, I'd say, the most dramatic end and the most epic end to a race here in F8. I gotta feel for Jordy, though. That was his race. That was absolutely his race, and that little mistake, it seemed that he just got too much on the power at turn 8. We don't know all the information, though. It seems like that was the case, though, for the Mercedes driver. Unfortunately, he is not going to be grabbing the win today, but he will definitely have the opportunity to do so in future races. So what's going to be happening now is we're going to do a quick interview with our top 3 drivers. We're going to get them into the interview box. So what you're going to see is a blue screen for a moment while I try and invite them. It shouldn't be more than a minute, and then we'll get a quick interview and then end off the Austrian Grand Prix here at the Red Bull Ring. Alrighty, so I've just invited our players into the session. We're just waiting for them to join. If they get the chance to, of course, they have to move on with their day and all that sort of thing, so we might not be able to get them into the session, which is it's completely fine. It's no big deal. But we'll see if we can get them in here. So just wait a moment while we try and get our 3 drivers into the interview box here, and then we'll do that interview and then move on. Oh, cool. So we have Ozzy joining into the session. That's great. And I think we're just waiting for Hyped and Ruben. I think I'm going to try and send Ruben a invite. Ozzy, while you're in the party here, would you mind checking and seeing if your party settings, like there's a setting that says always allow so we can hear you on YouTube?
Should be correct, yeah. Perfect.
All right. Thank you very much. If you could just wait a moment while I try and get the other 2 drivers in, and then we'll start the interviews. Alrighty, I'm going to send Ruben another invite, viewers, so just give me a moment. You'll see another blue screen for a moment, and then we'll get into all that sort of thing. And thank you, everyone, for your patience. Having a little bit of technical difficulties, just trying to figure out how to get everyone here. So just give me a moment here while I try and invite everyone. Alrighty, so I think we have our drivers joining in. There we go. We have Hyped joining. So great to see him in here. I think Ruben should be joining us any moment. There's Ruben also joining. So Ruben and Hyped, would you guys mind checking to see if your party settings have like the always allow button so we can hear you on YouTube?
I'm pretty sure you can hear me on the stream.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, I think we can hear you both. Very good. Okay. Thank you, guys. All right, so we have our 3 drivers in here for the interview. Thank you, viewers, so much for your patience. Let's start off with our 3rd place finisher, Hyped in the Red Bull. So congrats to you on 3rd position. You had an amazing race, as well as your teammate as well. You must be very happy with the result for the team and Red Bull, of course, here at Austria. So how are you feeling after that race? Just talk us through how your race went. Yeah, it seemed like you had a great race. It sounds like the start was pretty good as well. Everything went all good. You had, I think, those final few laps. You really were fighting for that top 3 in the race. So talk us through how that went as well. How did you feel about just like trying to catch up to Jordy and also trying to defend against El Piloter and Oze as well? All those drivers behind. How do you feel about all that? Yeah, well, I mean, you still got that double podium. I was hoping that you guys would get that double podium as you guys had a really good result. It may not have been 1-2, but it still was 1-3 and some really good points for the team. So congrats to you on that one. Yeah, no problem. I guess I should ask you about the next one. How are you feeling about that race? It's coming up next. It's going to be absolutely incredible. It's going to be Saudi Arabia, the Jeddah Street Circuit. How are you feeling about that Saudi Arabian Grand Prix? That sounds like you're confident. That really does sound like you're confident. So I hope you get a good result there. And congrats on P3 once again. And yeah, good luck for the rest of the season. No problem. Thank you very much for joining. All right, so let's move on to our 2nd place finisher. The Alfa Romeo driver, if I'm not mistaken, made his debut in this season today. Aussie, welcome to the interview section. How are you feeling after P2? Also, can you correct me? Is this your first race this season in PSGL?
That's correct.
And is it also your first race all in all PSGL, or is it?
Yeah, I joined in the mid sign up, and now it's my first race ever.
Wow. I mean, you grabbed P2. That is absolutely incredible. Your debut in PSGL. How are you feeling about that 2nd position?
Very happy. I mean, turn 1 was a disaster. Lost my front wing. Braked 5 meters too late, and then my front wing was gone. But yeah, the safety cars helped a lot, and I wasn't sure about going to the softs on lap 18, I think it was, but it was the right call. I could overtake the others, and then we had the gap in front, and yeah, the last laps were crazy. I mean, last lap we were 3 wide. Through turn 6 and 7, I think. It was just crazy. But yeah, I was like, I had 2 warnings, so I was a little bit cautious to avoid any trouble and just, yeah, snatch my podium, and now it's P2. I'm very happy.
Yeah, I bet you are. I mean, that race went really well. It sounds like the start wasn't the greatest, as we saw. I think you mentioned that you braked just a little bit too late there, but you came back. You got P2. That strategy call is something I wanted to ask you about. going on to the soft compound tires. Were you very confident of going to the softs, and how was that process? Like, what were you thinking when that safety car came out, if I'm not mistaken, and you put onto the softs, and were you just kind of going like, I need to overtake all these people? Just talk us through how that all went for you.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I think the medium was definitely faster at the end, but I was in 6th or 7th position, I think, when the safety car ended, so I needed to overtake, and that's why I chose the soft, and I knew that the percentages would not be a problem, but they would be slow at the end. But still, well, I wasn't sure, but when the overtakes were done, I was sure that I can now hold on to this position, and yeah.
Well, you had a great race. It sounds like the strategy worked out as well. I mean, that we know the strategy worked out because you got P2 in the end of it. So, yeah, congrats on a brilliant race, a brilliant first race in PSGL. And are you going to be here for the next one in Saudi Arabia? What do you think about that race? Is there a possibility you could be joining us for that one?
I hope so. I mean, I'm just a reserve driver, but would love to drive, even though Jeddah is not my most favorite circuit, I would say. Sector 1 is just horrible with Pet. It's, yeah, not the best.
It definitely is a very difficult circuit. I think every time I try and drive the circuit, I either spin or crash or something. But yeah, I hope we can see you again, because you showed off some incredible performances and some really good strategy calls, overtakes, all that sort of thing. So I really hope we get to see you again here in PSGL F8.
Thanks a lot.
All right, no problem. All right, let's move into our winner of the PSGL Austrian Grand Prix. Ruben, congrats on the win. How are you feeling after that race? Your second win this season. That puts you closer to that championship contention. You won Monaco. You now win Austria. How are you feeling? And also, how are you feeling about that big result for the Red Bull team here at Austria?
Yeah, of course I'm very happy for the team. It was big points, and it's a crazy result. I think we just did the right things today and it paid off.
Yeah, it seems like your race went really well. It was quite, with all the drama happening at the end of the race, it seems like you took advantage of that. Were able to get past those two other drivers. I think, if I'm not mistaken, you were already going to win with the penalty, but you went for it. You got up ahead of those two other drivers and finished first on track as well. So just talk us through how all that went with your teammate as well. What was the strategy with you guys fighting up at the top for Red Bull?
Yeah, I think just running through the race, I think I got a great start and was behind Nick Kenshin and Giro, I think. And they collided. And I went through, and I think we just went on from there, and that was 17 or something. Safety car came out. And I, of course, bucked for the soft tires because I was on the medium soft strategy. And just a crazy race from there, like many overtakes, and yeah. But just the last lap was absolutely crazy. I mean, yeah.
It definitely was. It was a very intense end to the Austrian Grand Prix. So, wow, absolutely incredible. So it sounds like you had a great race, and congrats on P1 again. And I have one more question for you, if you don't mind. How are you feeling about the next one in Saudi Arabia? A lot of drivers, like we mentioned, with Aussie and Hyped, we're talking about the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, how it's quite difficult, but also quite fun at the same time. What's your thoughts on that one? Do you have a possible chance of getting another win?
I mean, Jeddah is personally my favorite track, so looking forward to that one. But I think it's one of the tracks where I think some of these guys have the racing line on, and I don't, so I think we're gonna struggle a bit. So yeah, but yeah, it's very. I like the track. I like the track.
Well, all the best for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix coming up, and all the best for the future races in PSGL. Once again, congrats on P1 here in Austria, and I hope to be seeing you back here in the interview box.
Thank you very much.
No problem. All right, let's move into, I guess, the end of the stream. I think that's going to conclude everything from PSGL's Austrian Grand Prix. So we had Hyped in P3, we had the Alfa Romeo driver Aussie in P2, and we had the second Red Bull of Ruben in P1. So congrats to all three drivers. Congrats to the rest of the field as well on a pretty incredible race. And that's going to do it for the PSGL Austrian Grand Prix. Thank you all so much for joining us. We will see you all next week for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix at the Jeddah Street Circuit. That should be an incredible race, as PSGL hasn't raced there before. But that should be pretty awesome. So we'll see how that all works out as we head into the next race in Saudi Arabia. Super excited to see how that all works out. So thank you all so much for watching. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video if you enjoyed the commentary. But I'm Formula Jonah, signing off for now, and we'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.